Well, another year has come and gone, so here is a new top 10 films of 2022. I will say this was a bit of a tricky one. I did narrow down my favorites, so here we go.
Number 10.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This one was also just as good as the first, but I think better than the first. While it is childish in some ways, at least for specific things, I mean, it is a kid's movie. It was still fun overall. Wasn't really politically woke or any of that. It just told a good story. Sonic, and of course the new characters coming along, even though they're not new, but new for the movie. Tails and Knuckles, Jim Carrey being Dr. Robotnik. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it because, I'm a gamer and I like Sonic.
Number 9.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This movie is just sad, depressing, knowing that the late Chadwick Boseman's not here with us anymore, and this film really shows. It hits you right off the bat from the beginning, and by the end of the movie, it hits you again. It is probably the pretty decent Marvel movie as of late, since Marvel has started to decline a lot with either their messages that I don't really want to see, I want to have enjoyment, or just not perfect writing. But this has got to be the most decent of a serious Marvel movie, going back to like Iron Man for that matter. And I feel like T'Challa's sister was really well fleshed out, even though they could have maybe shown her a little more of her like training for combat and all that. But still, if she's part of that royalty, she probably knows some combat. I thought her character was well written with her struggles, her doubts, and it was just decent. It may have had like some things about it that were just, okay at best. Like Ironheart, I'm not like, the actress did fine and all, but she's just Iron Man, just that she's a female. But overall, yes, it's on this list because it is decent.
Number 8.
Nope. A very clever horror movie. It takes something that we know about the odd sightings of UFOs and turns it into something pretty unique. It's different, and I've been waiting for something new than the typical action, mediocre sort of storytelling. This did something very different, and I approve of it. I really liked it.
Number 7.
Pray for the Devil. I will say, when it comes to the typical horror theme, it carries on to even some of the decent horror movies, and this was a decent horror movie. Well fleshed out characters. I like the girl in here. The struggle she has to go through to deal with demons that work for the devil. And even the struggles, too, that she has to endure. She becomes like the first female to exorcise demons, pretty much. So yeah, I would say it's a pretty decent horror movie. It does have that cliche sort of thing near a specific point in the movie, which is, well, I don't want to say for spoiler reasons, but still, it was fun.
Number 6.
The Batman. Besides changing a lot of things with the characters that I'm usually not for these days. I mean, if this was in the 2000s, that would be one thing. Nowadays, it's all just, that. But this was a pretty decent movie, a different form of Batman, or his early days of Batman. I liked the gritty feel to it, the darkness, detective sort of feel to it as well. The action scenes were really good. Heck, the Penguin, really good performances. And just the whole setting too just felt really good as well. It was a long movie, but overall I enjoyed it.
Number 5.
Glass Onion. I mean, what can I say? The first one was pretty interesting. This one is also just as interesting as the first. I don't get how is it that Rian Johnson is able to make something great here, but ruin the specific sequel trilogy that's not canon to a series. Anyways, yeah, he did just as good of a job as he did with the first one. It's slow, takes its time to get to the point, and then when it gets to the point, man, it is well-crafted storytelling here. Editing's also well done. It crafts itself really well. I gotta say, another great film of this year for sure. It's too bad it wasn't in movie theaters for long, but Glass Onion, a sequel to Knives Out, Rian Johnson does it again. And I think he should just stick with this series. This is his greatest work so far.
Number 4.
See How They Run. This was a really well-crafted film And it's it's a nice family-friendly film, to be honest, and that's saying something. You could pretty much sit down and watch it with your family and have a blast. Actors that you know and recognize. It was well crafted. Some of the scenes are really well shot. I like the mystery story, and it's actually just a really fuzzy feeling vibe that you get with this movie, and you just could sit down and relax and watch and have fun.
Number 3.
Bullet Train. Now, you can't really take this movie too seriously because it is just a fun movie with some things that are, well, in real life would not happen. So bear that in mind. But overall, it was fun. A lot of these actors that come in this movie and just hammer away with their acting is really good. A lot of humorous moments that make you laugh. The action's really good. Cameos from actors that pop up. It's fun, really fun. Even good music too. I like the music in here. There was something also nostalgic about even watching this movie on the big screen that left an impact on me. I don't know if it has to do with just the way it was filmed or the setting. Either way, I thought it felt a bit like either a Guy Ritchie, Quentin Tarantino sort of style, but in a sense it also wasn't at the same time. I would say yes, go for it. Watch this movie.
Number 2.
The Black Phone. One of the best horror movies of this year so far. Really well done. I really like the setting it was set in. It gives that late 70s a very dark vibe, I gotta say. The acting was also well done. The girl in here, man, she was really good. It's also just creepy with the opening, man, that opening. And it's also kind of a unique concept when it comes to the character communicating with spirits or ghosts, I can say, of people that have died. That's something different. And it was new, just like Nope. So, yeah, thumbs up to that. Before we go to number 1, I'm going to mention at least some honorable mentions. While they didn't make it on the list, I enjoyed seeing them in the big screen. And one honorable mention that, while I have not seen it as of this episode, I do want to see it because I had finished the series of this year around the time it came out. I have not seen it yet, but saw the show and I really want to see it, and it did come out this year, but Fruits Basket Prelude. This is one that I really do want to watch at some point. I'm adding it on the list because I really liked the show. Technically the first slice of life anime that I actually liked, but there was a big reason to why I liked it compared to other slice of life animes out there. So for that, I am adding it on the list because I liked the series and I do want to see this movie.
Number 1.
Top Gun Maverick. There was no doubt that this would be number 1. This is a series that they did get right. While we've gotten series from the 1980s that have come back only to be demolished or put in a blender and destroyed, like Star Wars, Alien, and even, of course, Indiana Jones, which I'm going to be very suspicious about. This is actually the one movie series from the 80s that stayed intact, wasn't politically woke, none of that. It just told a story, and that's all I wanted. A good, decent story, and it was. The acting was so well done. I really liked the acting. It was more emotionally gripping than the first movie. The first movie is just okay. It's not my favorite, but it is important to watch that movie to understand this movie, and this is 100% better, I gotta say. A great movie, and I'm glad that they respected the source material and didn't mess it up, just like all the others that were messed up because of these people that don't know how to write a story, I just gotta say. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It may be a while until I do another top 10 because I'm working on so many other episodes, more like the reviews or discussions for Pop Culture Talk. I do want to do more of these. It just takes time because I either need to play a specific amount of games or watch a specific amount of stuff. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? What was your top 10 of this year? Let me know in the comments below. I will read them. Pretty decent year for films. Anyways, peace.